Mamiya 645 or Hasselblad 645. Why I own both systems and the pros and cons of each. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I've been reviewing cameras and lenses for the last 10 years, including lots of film cameras and also lots of Leica stuff. When it comes to medium format film cameras, I've tested 11 645 camera options. I'll link a video at the end or below. So I like to think I've got a reasonably good understanding, and so then I can share that with you guys. Of all the cameras I've tested and used and owned over the years, the two that I stuck with are the Hasselblad 645, Hasselblad H system. I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. And the Mamiya 645, which were later bought out to buy Phase 1. So that's why you probably never heard of a Mamiya 645 digital camera, but you probably have heard of Phase 1. Hey guys, Matt here from Leica.com. If you're a regular viewer, you will know that I love my Leica cameras, but sometimes you just want something a little bit bigger when it comes to either film negative size or digital sensor size. For that reason, I normally use either a Hasselblad medium format camera or a Mamiya medium format camera. I own the Hasselblad H2 and the Hasselblad H3D 39. Both bodies are near identical. You've both got interchangeable lenses, interchangeable finders, interchangeable film max. The main difference is the H3D 39 is called 39 because it came with a 39 megapixel medium format CCD sensor. I've done a video on this and have done a blog post, so I can put all those links below. The beauty of the Hasselblad H system is most cameras accepts the digital backs and the film backs. So someone like me that shoots film and digital, it's like the perfect camera. And they're nowhere near as expensive as they used to be. I think they used to be about £38,000. So while we're on the topic of Hasselblad, what are the pros of Hasselblad cameras? This is a Hasselblad H system, not the older Hasselblad V series or Hasselblad 500 cameras. It is worth noting you can get a 645 film back for a Hasselblad 500 camera. But yeah, I can put a link below to that review as well. We'll try and keep it simple for this video. So benefits of a Hasselblad H system. Now, if you saw my last video, I was actually reviewing the Leica M7. And one benefit of the Leica M7 is I said it's perfect for modern digital shooters because it's such a seamless transition from, say, something like a Leica M10 digital camera to the Leica M7 film camera. The reason I mention this is using a Hasselblad H camera is pretty much like using a digital camera. It is just so easy, regardless if you're shooting a digital back or a film back. You've got autofocus lenses, you've got all the normal auto controls like you get on a digital camera. You've got leaf shutter lenses, which means you can sync your flash the maximum shutter speeds, which is a huge benefit of lots of the medium format systems compared to, say, a 35mm digital Leica camera, for example. You've got amazing lenses. They're actually made by Fujinon, the Hasselblad HC lenses, compared to the older Hasselblad lenses, which used to be made by Zeiss. My favourite lens for portraits is the 100mm f2.2. It gives a really shallow depth of field, especially on the big sensor that you get with the 39 megapixel sensor, or of course using 645 film. So those are the pros of the Hasselblad, and that's what puts a big grin on my face. And I'd say, spoiler alert, the Hasselblad is my favorite of the two cameras. Cons of the Hasselblad H cameras is they're generally more expensive than Mamiya 645 cameras. The lenses are definitely more expensive because they're leaf shutter lenses compared to like standard lenses. And obviously they got Hasselblad badge on. It's like Hasselblad tax, similar to the Leica tax. It's a heavier camera. It's a bigger camera. So it's kind of more bulky when I'm trying to travel with cameras for my model shoots. I'm a model photographer if you're not a regular viewer. And so I really, really love it. But sometimes it's just a bit too big of a full kit to take, say, overseas if I'm shooting in Poland or whatever. Now that brings me on to the Mamiya 645. Now for full clarity, there are a lot of different Hasselblad cameras from, say, the H1 to the H6. And then with the Mamiya 645 cameras, again, there's a huge range of cameras from like the earliest ones to the latest ones. So my Mamiya 645 is the Mamiya 645 Super. So it's not the earliest, something like a Mamiya 1000S that I used to own. The Mamiya 645 Super is manual, but you've got the interchangeable film backs, which is similar to the Hasselblad, which is a good thing. If you wanted something much more automated, you can get the AF, AFD, AFD3. They got bought up by Phase 1, and then the names changed from Mamiya to Phase 1. So if you want something like on a par of, say, a more automated Hasselblad, you need to get a later version of the Mamiya cameras. Now for me, there's no point having two bulky automated cameras because they're going to do exactly the same thing. So for that reason, I use my more automated Hasselblad. What the reason for this video? I'm showing the benefits of the less automated, older Mamiya 645 camera. It's almost maybe similar to like a 645 Hasselblad 500, but much more manual, much less battery dependent. So a very small battery compared to our big lithium battery grip that you get on the Hasselblad system. So benefits of the Mamiya 645, super in this example. Mamiya 645 cameras are generally much cheaper than Hasselblad cameras. The lenses are definitely cheaper than Hasselblad lenses. It's a simpler camera, so less battery dependent, so probably easier to service like in the future. It's easier to adapt to lenses too, because it's not a leaf shutter lens system, so there is a shutter in the camera itself. And it's quite compact for a 645 camera, especially if you use the waist level viewfinder. Now you can actually get a prism viewfinder, the same as I use on the Hasselblads. I did own that in the past, but I found the view not quite as enjoyable to use compared to the waist level finder on the Mamiya, so I sold the prism and I'll stick with the smallest possible setup, the Mamiya, with waist level viewfinder and the 82.8 kit lens. So benefits of the Mamiya, it's also got the interchangeable film mac, interchangeable finder, interchangeable lenses, exactly the same film format as we're getting with the Hasselblad. It's cheaper, it's smaller, it's lighter, and so that reason it's perfect for travel. It fits in one side of my 3.5 litre Wotan Craft bag. When comparison, my preferred setup for the Hasselblad, I'd need to use a 7 litre Wotan Craft bag. I do leave the hood on things, but it's noticeably different in size and in weight. So I've been using my Mamiya 645 for my travel most of the time, and then my preferred setup is my Hasselblad when I've got the ability to maybe fly with 2 bags, and so I can carry all the extra kit. Now, it's not all good news for the Mamiya 645. It's not autofocus lenses, so if your eyesight's go similar to mine, I'm short-sighted. I'm less confident of nailing my focus with the Mamiya compared to the Hasselblad. The Hasselblad just nails it every time, even with a 100 2.2 lens. Because the Mamiya lenses are not leaf shutter lenses, most of them, I'll get onto that, you've only got a maximum flash sync speed of a 60th of a second, which is obviously terrible if you're trying to shoot in, say, a blue sky day outside with flash. Hasselblad system is way better. If you're playing with strobes, Mamiya is better maybe without flash. If you do want to play with flash, there are a few LS lenses that you can get from the Mamiya system, which are leaf shutter lenses, which will then allow you to sync up to, I believe it's 500ths of a second. You can get great lenses for the Mamiya, the same as the Hasselblad. Maybe the best lens I've got for the Mamiya is the 81.8 classic Mamiya Secor lens. Very popular lens if you know this system. It's so very good lens. Biggest drawback for me for the Mamiya 645 is when you're looking through the waist level finder, the 645 format is horizontal. If you see my work on Instagram at Mr. Leica.com, you'll know that I shoot 99% portraits. And so for that reason, I shoot almost everything vertically. And so that means it's a real pain with that Mamiya 645 to keep putting it on its side to try to line up your pictures. Everything's kind of back to front. And it's obviously way slower than just using the Hasselblad with an autofocus lens with the prism. And it's just like, click, 2 seconds. For my personal work, the Hasselblad wins. But if you shoot everything horizontally, you'll absolutely love the Mamiya. And also your bank will love you too, because as I say, if you've got an MPB or eBay, the Mamiya system is way cheaper, especially if you want to get a few lenses for it. So in summary, what is the best camera for you? If you're shooting with flash, you like autofocus, you like more electronic, you like more mod-con features, look at the Hasselblad H system. If you prefer something closer to like a Hasselblad 500 CM, something a lot more manual, then look at the Mamiya, especially if you want a smaller, lighter, cheaper, and shooting 645 horizontally setup. As I say, it fits in the one side of my 3.5 litre Wotan Craft bag, and that bag normally has 2 Leicas with 2M lenses, so it is a very compact setup. If you prefer 6x6, you probably wouldn't have clicked in this video anyway, but if you do, I would maybe get a Hasselblad 500 CM or 501C like I use instead of the Mamiya 645, because both of those cameras are very similar in what they do, and you can shoot 6x6 and 645 with a Hasselblad compared to any 6x6 on the Mamiya. Obviously, Hasselblads cost more, but the Hasselblad's got no batteries in, so those really are a camera for life, same as like a Leica M3 or like MA like I bought recently. For me, I still prefer Hasselblad, but if you're on a budget, maybe start with the Mamiya 645, and then, yeah, if you like it, you can always maybe get a Hasselblad later. Now, if you love automation and you love 645 cameras, you've also got medium format 645 point and shoot cameras. like the Fuji GA645, which I've done a video on. And then if you prefer manual control of the Fuji GS645, there are a few versions of each of those. If you want to see 11 ways to shoot 645 format film, watch this video next. And as always, a huge thanks to my amazing pictures.